Mark Rogers TV, week 12 of our college football predictions. We've had a solid season to date. 174-38 straight up, 111-90 against the spread. And oh yeah, those confidence picks coming through at 75%, 18-6 against the spread. So listen up for two confidence picks coming up. Let's run down the top 25, starting with Southern Miss at UAB. Take the Blazers plus the 23 points. Southern Miss does win the game straight up. In the ACC, North Carolina at Virginia Tech. The Hokies coming down the stretch strong again in the ACC, vying for a fifth ACC championship since 2000. And we like the Hokies to win the game and cover 10.5 points against the Tar Heels. Oklahoma State and Iowa State. Will the Cowboys look ahead to their matchup with the Sooners? Maybe they do, but they still roll. 66 for the Cowboys last week against Texas Tech. Oklahoma State with Whedon and Blackman and Randall. They've got the best offense in the country. And Oklahoma State rolls against Iowa State. Take the Cowboys minus 27 points. To the Big Ten with Wisconsin and Illinois. We like the Badgers here. The Illini are reeling. They could not hold off Michigan. Lost that game by 17 at home. Wisconsin comes in with the best team in the Big Ten, and they get it done. Badgers minus 13.5 against Illinois. Michigan State, Indiana. Spartans are winning, but not winning big. They struggled at home a couple weeks ago against Minnesota, the worst team in the Big Ten. Indiana comes in playing much better football against better competition in the last few weeks. So we like Michigan State to win. Indiana plus 28. Okay, Clemson, North Carolina State. Clemson vying for an ACC championship with only one loss on the season. Take the Tigers. North Carolina State's offense is bad. Clemson is dynamic on offense. The best team with Virginia Tech in the ACC. Tigers minus 7.5 against the Wolfpack. Georgia, Kentucky. Okay, the Bulldogs have the SEC East wrapped up, barring a disaster against the Wildcats. Take Georgia, but they cruise in this game. Wildcats keep it relatively close. We like Kentucky plus the 30.5 points. Take Georgia to win this one straight out and march on to the SEC championship game. LSU, Ole Miss. The Rebels are hurting big time. Houston Nutt, a lame duck coach. LSU sleptwalked through the first half against Western Kentucky last week. They poured it on. They will pour it on this week, although the Rebels have pulled off some upsets in this series as of late, but these two teams going in completely opposite directions. LSU wins over Ole Miss and covers 30 points. TCU and Colorado State, the Horned Frogs coming off by far their biggest win of the year, their biggest win in a long time in the regular season. Of course, they beat Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl last year. TCU beat Boise State. This time they've got Colorado State, and they cruise in this one, but take the Rams and the points. Colorado State plus 33 against TCU. Of course, the Horned Frogs do win the game. Arizona State, Arizona. Big rivalry game out there in the land of the sun, and we like Arizona State to win it with defense. Much better team overall than Arizona. Disappointing season for Dennis Erickson's crew. Sun Devils minus 11 against the Wildcats. Ohio State, Penn State in the shoe. The Buckeyes somewhat had control of their division to march on to a championship game, but lost in overtime at Purdue. The Buckeyes need to bounce back to have any hope, and hoping Wisconsin goes down a couple times. Penn State plus 7 in this game. We like the Nittany Lions with the points. We like the Buckeyes to win the game. Penn State just has no offense, but such a solid defense. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Buckeyes win, but win it close. Take Penn State plus 7. Kansas State, Texas. We have no idea why Kansas State is not getting respect. They've lost 2 games this year. The only game in which they did not play well was against Oklahoma, blown out in the second half against the Sooners. But they took OK State to the last play of the game inside the 5. They went up against an extremely talented offense in Texas A&M last week, won the game in overtime 53-50. Still, Kansas State shows up as an underdog against Texas. Take Kansas State in a confidence pick. They win the game. They win it outright. And, of course, take the Wildcats, plus a big 9 spot against Texas. Okay, we've got Oklahoma Baylor. Take the Sooners. Lay the points, 15 of them against the Bears. Arkansas, Mississippi State, the Bulldogs only 5-5, but check out the losses. All quality losses in the SEC. They keep it close, even on the road. Take Arkansas to win, Mississippi State plus 13 in that one. We've got Oregon, USC. If this game was in the Coliseum, we give the Trojans a chance. But of course, Oregon proved last week to be by far the best team in the Pac-12. USC, the third best team to Stanford in the Pac-12. USC, better than what they looked the first few games of the season. They've really come on. They will give Oregon a game, but the Ducks blow it open in the fourth quarter. So take Oregon minus 14.5 points. Boise and San Diego State, we like the Broncos. They've got a class act. They have pride. They will bounce back after the TCU loss, breaking their long home winning streak. So we like Boise State, like them big against San Diego State. Take the Broncos minus 18 points. Nebraska, Michigan. This is one of the matchups that we anticipated, the storied rivalries when Nebraska joined the Big Ten. We've got Michigan at home against Nebraska. The Huskers won on the road against the Nittany Lions last week. Of course, they're going to face a much more explosive offense this week at the Big House. But we like Nebraska to go into the Big House, pull the upset, better defense, better run game. Take Nebraska, so take the 3.5 points as well at Michigan. Florida State, Virginia, the Noles have it together. They've played weaker competition in recent weeks, and Florida State does have great talent. They welcome Virginia in, but take the Cavaliers with the points, 17.5. Florida State does win the football game. Stanford, Cal, the game. Stanford wins it. Lay the 18 points against the Golden Bears. Notre Dame, Boston College. Look at Notre Dame at 7-3. Take away not just turnovers, colossal, game-changing turnovers that the Irish have coughed up against South Florida, USC, and Michigan. And who knows what Notre Dame could possibly be involved in terms of the BCS right now. As it is, Notre Dame much better than Boston College, but we like the Eagles to keep it within the 24.5. So take BC 24.5 against the Irish. Houston and SMU. Okay, Houston's going to score 100, so we don't expect Southern Miss or SMU to score 80. Yes, the Cougars cover the spread here. They score in gobs. Case Keenum with 37 touchdowns, just 3 picks this year. More the same as SMU can't keep up anywhere close to the Houston Cougars. Take the Cougars minus 19.5 points. I believe we've covered it. Week 12 of college football. Tell us what you think. What are your picks on Mark Rogers TV?